All right, I went to Subway to get a sandwich. Why is this a problem? It's a sandwich. Got behind the guy, it looked like it was his first time out ever. Just a look of bewilderment, confusion. Came up to the counter. How does this work? What do you do? What do you do here? It says step 1, pick bread. You don't see that?
I still laugh at this every time I hear that bit. That's the Subway bit from Sebastian Maniscalco, who is coming to Montreal. He's going to be here next Thursday night at the Bell Center, and he's on the line. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time today. Really appreciate it.
No, I think that should be a T-shirt. Step 1, pick bread. I think that's. And just listening to that, I was like, wow, that's such a long time ago. But kind of those bits kind of solidified my. I remember doing that in Montreal at the comedy festival there. I used to be a staple there at the comedy festival in Montreal, and what a great city, comedy savvy city. I mean, going to Montreal and Canada alone, I just did a Canadian run about a month and a half ago through Vancouver and Edmonton. The people up there are just really, really great people to perform in front of. So looking forward to it.
So you're considering moving here, I understand, right? Post Donald Trump elected?
I'm not moving anywhere.
No? Okay.
I don't move based on any political figure. I have a mother, a sister. I got my whole family in Los Angeles. So I'm trying to remodel my house. I'm not going anywhere. So
okay.
But I have to say Montreal is the home of my favorite restaurant in the world in Milos. I love Milos. I love Greek food. So definitely going to try and hit Milos while I'm in town.
Well, here's what I should tell you. First of all, I will tell Kostas Spiliadis at Milos that you're his favorite restaurant. He is your favorite restaurant, rather. When you're playing Toronto as well for a couple of nights, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Toronto, and apparently Taylor Swift is playing down the street from me. Once I heard that Taylor Swift was going to be in town, I'm like, that's it. Nobody's coming to my show. But, the people of Toronto are coming out in full force for me, and a huge Italian community there. And same thing, the people of Toronto really tend to gravitate towards my act and what I'm doing. And, the next weekend is going to be a blast.
I bring this up because, given what you just said, you should know Milos has just opened in Toronto, like maybe a month ago.
I heard. I got so excited. I'm going to have back-to-back Milos. So,
I'll let him know you're coming, because you're a big fan, so that'll be fine. Listen, we don't have a lot of time. I want to get into something. You talk about, Italian communities, and obviously people probably who know your story. Your parents, immigrants from Italy. I'm curious what it must have been like, because you've been doing this now for, I think, more than 30 years, right? Since the 90s, maybe? What was it like?
Started in 98.
Okay, what was it like to tell immigrant parents that this is something you're considering of doing as a career?
Well, listen, generally speaking, immigrant parents are, at least for where I'm from, are not like pro-entertainment. It's not stable. I mean, I remember my mother telling me, what do you do? What are you going to do for health insurance when when you're doing stand up? Get like a 401k, get a stable job. But my parents were very, very supportive. They were, at first they were, I think, kind of thrown, but they were like, go out. Do you think you could do this? Give it 110%,
wow.
And we're 100% behind you. So they were very, very supportive of it all. And it's nice to have that support system, especially when you're doing something that's so kind of off the grid. I mean, coming from an Italian family, you don't move out of the house unless you're moving next door. And I moved from Chicago to Los Angeles in 1998, not knowing a soul. So I got 2 kids now, 5 and 7. If my son told me at 24 years old he was going to try and be a comedian and move to New York, I would definitely, miss him and selfishly would want to have him be close by us. But, my parents definitely gave me the green light and said, go ahead, do it.
What made you, that's a huge move. Again, your background and everything, you say Italian immigrants, family stays close. What was that like for you to actually make that move, go Chicago to LA, and how hard was it at the beginning?
Well, every month I got a care package in the mail of food, which helped. I mean, I got Pecorino Romano cheese,
Of course.
sauce, sausage. My parents. The one thing my dad taught me in life was no matter what, always have a full refrigerator. That's the main thing. You could have. I don't care if you don't have a car, but you got to have food to eat. So, they came out to visit me. My mother subsequently then moved to Los Angeles because my sister's out there now. So she wanted to be closer to her grandkids. So she came out about 15 years ago, so I kind of started a migration from Chicago to Los Angeles, and now I have my mother, my sister there. My father ain't going nowhere. He's still in Chicago, and he's complaining that it's snowing every year. Every year it snows. He's been there for 60 years. You would have thought he just moved there the way he reacts anytime it snows.
I want to ask a question with respect to your act, and as again, I know you don't have a lot of time here. You watch some of the old footage, and I see that as years went by, you sort of incorporate more and more physicality into your routine. So I'm trying to wonder in my mind, is that something you try in your act, or you tried and you noticed, people kind of responded to that, so you incorporated more and more of it into it, or was that always part of it?
No, it was never really part of it. I mean, I've always kind of spoke to people with hand gestures and body movements and whatnot. Obviously not as exaggerated as I do on stage, but that kind of developed over time. I noticed when I started acting out the material rather than telling the material, people were really, really receptive to it. And also, grew up watching Johnny Carson, and he'd always do kind of like a face or take a moment of silence, and you could almost kind of read what he was thinking just on his facial expression. John Ritter, who I watched, a comedic actor that was in Three's Company, did a lot of physicality. So that generally became a part of my act over the course of 7-8 years of doing it, and then feel like people coming out, they're paying a premium for a ticket. A lot of comedians just stand behind a microphone and tell jokes, which is fine, but I always felt like I wanted to give people a show. I grew up watching a lot of showmen in Prince and Michael Jackson, Madonna. I always felt like Eddie Murphy was, it was like a spectacle to see these people in concert. And I've always kind of thought, if I get to a point where I'm doing large shows, I want people to, leave going, wow, we just saw a show, not just someone talking into a microphone.
Did you ever think you'd get to the stage where you are now, like, Sebastian Maniscalco, superstar? Was that something you thought about?
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I had a lot of confidence in my abilities to succeed in this business. I think you have to have that in order to, make it. But when I left Chicago in 1998, I would have never thought I, would sell 5 Madison Square Garden shows out. I mean, there was nothing that was not in the cards. The only thing I wanted to do when I moved out was make a living doing stand-up comedy. And if I was at comedy clubs right now making a living doing stand-up, it would have been great for me. But all this stuff that's happened on top of it, from the TV to the films to this arena tour, is something that I didn't really set out to do. The only thing I did was night in and night out make sure that I honed my craft, worked on it, and that's the only thing I really had control over. So the fact that coming to Toronto and Montreal and selling these shows out is just unbelievable for me.
Hard to believe. It's 25 years. Can you believe that?
25 years.
You've been doing this?
And really, really now just relishing in the moment of what's happening to me. In the past I did, and I was doing one show and I was thinking about the next. I wasn't really in the moment. I was thinking about in the future.
Yeah.
So this particular time I'm taking my family on the road. They were with me in Chicago when I just shot my Hulu special last week. They were in Atlanta and Tennessee and New York City. So, just enjoying these moments with my wife and my kids.
Hey, listen, I really appreciate the time. Montreal, looking forward to having you here November 21st. That's a Thursday night at the Bell Center. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan as well, by the way. And yes, I'm going to call Milos to let him know you're coming.
Please. Thank you so much.
Take good care. You bet. Bye-bye.
You bet. Bye-bye.